And just when everyone thought things were beginning to calm down, another shocking revelation was made. Someone posing as Erica's cousin went live on Instagram, displaying images of purportedly old chats between Erica and Mendeecees. Among them, he describes her as beautiful, says he can't stop thinking about that night, and even goes so far as to remark, "I wish things were different." It made little difference if the screenshots were authentic or not. The damage was already done. The fans were already decided. One thing became painfully obvious as the aftermath of the interview, the DNA test, and the emotional encounter subsided. Nothing would ever be the same. The world had already chosen sides, drawn battle lines, and transformed a private scandal into public entertainment before the baby was even born. However, actual lives were collapsing behind the memes and rumors. And by no means was the narrative finished. After the taping, Mendeecees sat by himself in his car for almost an hour, his phone vibrating constantly with alerts. Producer calls, messages from unidentified numbers, and mentions on social media are coming in at an exponential rate. He was aware that there was nothing he could do to stop his world from collapsing piece by piece. He read the remarks, each one more impactful than the one before it. "Everything was ruined by you. How could you harm Yandy like that? An additional child? Same age." He threw his phone onto the passenger seat, closed the app, and just gazed at the driving wheel in shock. In the meantime, Yandy had withdrew to the home of a close friend, evading calls from all relatives. She required room. She required silence. She had to take a breath. The pain was shame rather than betrayal. She had been there for him through it all. Jail, rumors, public examination. And this was the last blow. She went into hiding for the following 2 days, not checking her messages or responding to producers. The only thing keeping her from going fully insane was the presence of her children. She played with them, smiled for them, and gave them a sense of security. But she broke down in private, repeatedly. Erica, however, was entering a new kind of mayhem. Many supporters were dragging her through the mud, while others praised her for speaking the truth. She received messages like attention seeker, homewrecker, and worse. Her address was posted online. Strangers showed up at work, and individuals called her relatives. It was more than she had ever anticipated, and despite her best efforts to hide it, the effects were becoming apparent. The child was already the focus of a media frenzy before she had even given birth. Seeing how big the story had grown, the VH1 producers started to push for a full show that focused on the consequences. Everything was being gathered, including leaked audio, confessionals, and behind-the-scenes video. To ride the drama, they even thought of conducting a live reunion special. However, there was a significant issue. Yandi wasn't answering, and there was no resolution to the story without Yandi. She was the focal point of the story, and no interview could capture the impact of her silence. There was a lot of pressure to bring her back on camera. "You don't have to say anything you're not ready to say," Mona Scott herself remarked in a voicemail. "But you must speak to the supporters, if only for 5 minutes, even though it's only to end the chapter." After hearing the message, Yandi erased it without responding. She wasn't prepared. Not quite yet. Not when millions would analyze every action she took. Not when she was still questioning whether or not she had ever been in a relationship. Mendeecees attempted contacting both women back in the city. He apologized, begged for another opportunity, and described how terrified and overwhelmed he had been in lengthy texts to Yandi. He pledged to be there for Erica and accept responsibility for the child, but he would never again cross the line. He assured Yandi that she was everything to him, and that their relationship could never be broken. However, the messages remained unread. He attempted to contact, directly to voicemail. On one occasion, he even appeared outside her friend's house, but the door never opened. Even if it was killing him on the inside, he had to accept that she needed time. He also made an effort to patch things up with Erica, but those discussions also didn't work out. She was upset that he hadn't publicly defended her more, that he was now attempting to play the victim, and that she had to bear the burden of public humiliation while he was able to escape with evasive excuses. In a furious phone conversation, she informed him, "You created this mess. You wanted to live like a king, balancing two lives, and now you're acting shocked as everything blows up. No, you can't play confused right now." Erica blocked his phone as the call came to an end. The cameras, the show, and the headlines didn't matter to her. She was only concerned with keeping her peace and her child safe. She was aware that everything will change once the baby was born. She refused to allow the man who abandoned her when she was pregnant to enter and act heroic, only if he merited it. As the days went by, fresh rumors began to circulate. Mendeecees were allegedly seen at an Atlanta lounge with an unidentified woman. Others claimed that in addition to moving into a new flat, Yandi was already scheduling meetings with a divorce attorney. Blogs claimed that Erica had a secret boyfriend all along, and that the baby might not be Mendeecees after all, dragging her name into new rumors. Although none of it was verified, it made no difference. Perception was crucial in reality television, and this plot was devolving into something beyond anyone's control. In order to piece together the plot without putting the three of them in the same room, a few producers suggested that they record scenes with each of them individually. Mendeecees concurred. Erica reluctantly accepted. Yandi didn't answer. However, she shared a single dark screen on her Instagram story with the caption, "Sometimes silence is strength," right after everyone assumed she was done for good. "But I'll talk to you soon." The internet exploded. Within minutes, it was shared on blogs. Support and interest from fans filled the comments section. It was also uploaded by the official VH1 page with the comment, "Queen, we're listening." She arrived at the studio a week later, just her and her team entering without any cameras or announcements. She asked for an unguarded private confessional. Not a producer. No viewers. The camera and her alone. They instantly agreed. She took a seat, inhaled deeply, and began talking. She spoke quietly but firmly. She didn't mince words. She discussed the sorrow, the betrayal, and the restless nights. She mentioned that she was worn out from fighting for a man who was incapable of standing up for her. Weary of taking the lead. Weary of acting as though nothing was wrong. With tears in her eyes, she continued, "I gave him everything. With him, I created a life. When everyone warned me not to, I stood by him. And right now, I'm left to gather up the fragments of something that I didn't shatter." After pausing to catch her breath, she said, "But I'm not bitter. I'm no longer upset. I'm just finished." She concluded the confessional by stating that she would always act in her children's best interests, which at the moment meant keeping her peace, no matter what that entailed. It was uncooked, it was authentic, and it disrupted the internet when it aired. Millions of people